What you are about to hear is not speculation, not political commentary, and not tabloid gossip. This is a detailed legal analysis of a case that is unfolding in real time, one that has placed the First Lady of the United States in an extraordinarily difficult legal position. Michael Wolff, the acclaimed journalist and author, has filed a federal defamation lawsuit against Melania Trump. The allegations stem from statements made by Melania and her team in connection with Wolff's investigative work on the Epstein files, files that touched directly on Donald Trump in his inner circle. Wolff is not seeking a quiet settlement. He is not backing down. He is pursuing this case aggressively, and at this stage, the law appears to be firmly on his side. When a high-profile individual faces litigation, the first instinct of their legal team is to find the most favorable courtroom possible. This is standard legal strategy. You do not fight a battle on your opponent's terms. You choose the ground that gives you the greatest advantage. Melania's attorneys identify their preferred destination, the Southern District of Florida, and more specifically, the courtroom of Judge Eileen Cannon. Judge Cannon, appointed by Donald Trump, gained national attention for her handling of the classified documents case against the former president, a case ultimately dismissed under circumstances that drew widespread scrutiny from legal observers across the political spectrum. To achieve this transfer, Melania's legal team filed a motion to transfer venue, arguing that she is a Florida resident, that Mar-a-Lago is the Trump family's primary residence, and that New York is therefore an improper jurisdiction for this lawsuit. On the surface, it appeared to be a calculated and reasonable legal maneuver, but this is precisely where their strategy began to unravel. Wolff's legal team responded with an argument that was both legally powerful and devastatingly simple. They asked one fundamental question: where does Melania Trump actually live? Not where does she claim to live on paper, not where does she file her taxes, but where does she physically spend her days? The answer, backed by a substantial body of publicly available evidence, is New York City, specifically Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. Melania has been consistently photographed in New York. Her son, Barron, is based in New York. Her daily routine, her social engagements, her entire way of life points unmistakably to New York as her true place of residence. Wolff's attorneys went even further, arguing in court filings that Melania is not merely a New York resident in practice, but that she is actively managing the White House's response to the Epstein controversy from New York. This is a significant claim. It means that the very conduct at the center of this lawsuit, the alleged defamatory statements, the coordination around the Epstein files, is being handled in the same jurisdiction where Wolff originally filed his case. The plaintiff is in New York. The defendant effectively lives in New York. The conduct in question is occurring in New York. The case, Wolff's team argues, belongs exactly where it was filed. Here is where the situation becomes even more serious for Melania. By making the formal legal representation that she is a Florida resident, her attorneys open the door to discovery, the legal process through which each side can demand documents, records, and sworn testimony to verify facts in dispute. Wolff's team has made clear they intend to use this process to its fullest extent. They want mail records, tax filings, phone records, hotel records, travel logs, and Secret Service location data. Everything that would establish day by day where the First Lady of the United States actually resides. In attempting to use residency as a legal escape route, Melania's lawyers inadvertently handed Wolff a roadmap to examine her personal life in precise and sworn detail. It is also worth noting the scale of legal firepower Melania has assembled. She retained DLA Piper, one of the largest and most powerful law firms in the world, a firm with former Supreme Court clerks, former federal judges, and some of the most formidable legal minds in the country. When a party hires a firm of that caliber, it signals seriousness, but it also signals something else. It signals that the threat being faced is real, significant, and not expected to simply disappear. Wolff himself has been candid about his ultimate objective. He wants to depose both Donald and Melania Trump under oath about their connections to Jeffrey Epstein. He wants them in a room, under penalty of perjury, answering questions they have carefully avoided for years. Every question asked in that deposition will eventually become part of the public record. Every answer, or refusal to answer, will be scrutinized and reported on by every major media outlet in the country. Even if Melania's team were to win the venue transfer, the legal challenges would not disappear. New York has one of the strongest anti-SLAPP statutes in the nation, a law designed to protect journalists and writers from defamation suits intended to silence them. Under this statute, if a court finds that a lawsuit was filed primarily to chill free speech, the filing party can be ordered to pay the opposing side's legal fees. Moving the case to Florida doesn't simply hand Melania an easier path. It changes the legal landscape in ways that cut in multiple directions, and legal analysts who have studied this case closely caution against assuming Florida is an automatically friendlier venue. The broader picture is this: Melania Trump and her legal team, with all the resources and political connections at their disposal, appear to have walked into a trap of their own making. In attempting to relocate the case to a favorable jurisdiction, they triggered a residency dispute that now justifies extensive discovery into her personal life. They advanced a venue argument so legally thin that it projects desperation rather than confidence. And they created a public narrative that the First Lady is attempting to flee an Epstein-related lawsuit by seeking refuge in a Trump-appointed judge's courtroom that serves Wolff's broader case almost perfectly. The case remains in New York, the discovery process is underway, and with each legal maneuver from Melania's side, the situation appears to grow more complicated, not less. Michael Wolff has evidence, he has legal standing, and by all available indications, he has absolutely no intention of letting this matter go quietly.